What's up, everyone? All right, so, well, as you can see behind me, the lights are still shining red. Second red day recap. Well, third red day of the week. I'm in a little bit of a rut. Last Thursday, the market was slow. Friday, market was slow. Monday, lost 32 bucks. Tuesday, I made almost 10,000, which was awesome, but it was just one opportunity and the rest was pretty choppy. Yesterday, lost 1,300, and today I'm down $5,800. So, good news is I'm still green on the week, but bad news, the last week has been pretty choppy. We're not seeing good follow through. So today's what's really frustrating is that I was green. I was up $2,000 and I managed to turn that into being red, 5,000 on the day. That for me is a trigger to just walk away. It's like, so frustrating. So, closing up shop, walking away. We did the recap. You guys can go through it. Any questions, any comments, leave them below. I'll answer them later. And as always, we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Because you know what? Rather than try to keep trading today, I'll come back at it tomorrow. There's always another trade that'll be around the corner. We're in a choppy market, so best thing to do is just, reduce the risk, be smart, and wait for better opportunities. So that's the game plan. Hope you guys enjoy the recap, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. What's up, everyone? All right, so time for our midday market recap. Today is sadly a red day recap. So I'm going to change the lights to red because that's the kind of day it is. It's a little disappointing. I will be sniffing my fair share of gasoline today because I am down $5,859.78. Which is the exact opposite way I was hoping to finish today. But, this is the life of a trader. There's ups and there's downs. You can't take one without the other. You can't separate them. This is just the way it goes. So, the good news is I am still green on the week. So even though I'm down, almost $6,000 today, it's still a green week. And that's what's important. It's not as big in the green as, obviously it was before today, but making 10,000 on, nearly 10,000 on Tuesday was a great day. And, so now I was red on Monday, down 32 bucks, red yesterday, down 1,300, and red today, down 5,800. So for sure, the momentum is slowing down, and today is a disappointing day because you can see my accuracy was actually pretty good. I'm green on 3 out of 4 names, but then I had that one trade that I got a little too aggressive on, and I got smoked. So the trades out of the gates, we'll just kind of break it down. We'll start by going over the watch list pre-market. All right, so every single day starts the same way, and also reminder, guys, this coming Monday, July 30th at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're hosting a live online training session with me. So I'll be teaching you guys about how to manage risk, how to find strong stocks to trade, and how to find a quality setup. So those of you on YouTube and Facebook, you'll see the link to register down in the description. So I'd love for you guys to register. Seats will be limited as usual. I think we're going to cap it at, I don't know if it's 250 or 500 seats. I can't remember. But we've had some problems with our webinar online training software. So hopefully by keeping seats limited, we'll have better performance. So anyways, that's coming up next week. But what we're going to talk about during that workshop is one of the steps of finding strong stocks to trade. And so every day starts the same way. It starts with going over the gap scanner. So what the gap scanner is showing us is all of the stocks in the entire stock market that are going to open higher this morning than they closed yesterday. Now, we go over this all the time. This is not anything new for those of you that are in the chat room. But the reality is every single day there are stocks that move 20 to 30%. BSPM today was up over 100%. That's a huge move. So we see these opportunities again and again. Now, we can often identify these opportunities pre-market before the bell even rings by looking at this scanner right here. So SVU was already gapping up 64% pre-market. 64%. So the whole thing with pre-market is kind of funny. Pre-market starts at, I want to say 4 a.m. for some stocks and goes up until the bell rings at 9:30. Now, most stocks don't trade pre-market. Maybe a couple of shares, a little bit here and there. Most just don't really trade pre-market. Institutional traders who want to take really big positions, they're not going to be able to buy pre-market because there's not enough shares changing hands. So institutional traders don't trade pre-market. Retail traders, yeah, we could buy small positions pre-market, but a lot of times stocks, they don't have a lot of volume, and they're a little choppier. So for most of us, we wait till the bell rings. Now, if you look at a stock like, I'll just look at Apple, for instance. Apple this morning, it traded pre-market. The gray here is the pre-market period. So after hours in pre-market right in here. So, a little bit of trading, but a lot of these small cap stocks are pretty thinly traded. And this morning, in the entire stock market of thousands and thousands of stocks, over 10,000 stocks, this is the entire list of stocks that were opening, that were already up more than 5% pre-market. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23 stocks, if I'm counting that right. Only 23 stocks out of 10,000 that are up more than 5%. That's significant. These are breaking the standard deviation of typical range. So these ones are the ones that we're going to look at, and I focus on the top 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, right around from there up is what I'm looking at. Now, I start by looking at the stocks that are lower float. They have a float of less than 10 million shares. So that's this one here, this one down here, and that's about it. So this morning there were only 2 with a lower float. And then I also look at the ones that are up the most. So 64% is big. However, at $32, I won't trade it. So that one's off the list. BPI, acceptable. I'll watch it. TAOP, acceptable. Maybe a little high on the float at 23 million. This one's too high. And so just like this one's too cheap. I end up narrowing down my watch list to a few that look good. So this morning we were watching AWX for possible continuation. Had a pre-market chart here where it was consolidating. We were watching that for a break to the upside. It did end up breaking to the upside, and then it ended up having a really sharp drop. Very, very difficult price action. I ended up making money on it, but only $186. It just wasn't an easy stock to trade. And so, my only trade on it was coming out of the halt. It opened and it was very choppy. Choppy, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then all of a sudden, boom, it pops up and is halted on a circuit breaker. It resumes and I jump in for the break of 510. It pops up to a high of 523. I sell 3/4 and I stop out of the rest as it comes back down, making only $186 on 5,000 shares. Very silly, just not good at all. And look at this, ended up just tanking right here. So why is this stock doing this? Spiking up here and tanking here? I really don't know. It was doing it yesterday and it was very difficult to trade, whether you were long or short. So I don't know what's up with that one, but only made $186 on it. All right, next one on the list, TAOP. I wasn't sure about this one. I thought it was a little too cheap. Ended up, you can see, popping up a little bit, but I just didn't go for it. Wasn't that interested. Next one down, TRCH. The float was too high, above 20 million. Not interested. FTFT, higher float, light volume, no trades. This one, nothing. ADMA, on the watch list pre-market. You can see how it had a pre-market high of about 5:30. The bell rings and it starts surging up. All of a sudden, this one pops up, makes a big move. I jump in it as it's squeezing up, getting in for the break of the whole dollar at 6. It squeezes up to 617, comes out of the, gets halted, resumes, hits a high of 630. I had 5,000 shares. So I'm up about $1,500, and then it comes all the way back down. So I only actually made $296 on that trade. Another really small winner. So just kind of a bummer there. And then we had BPI. All right, so BPI was on the watch list this morning, had earnings right here on the scans, and you can see out of the gates, this put in a really nice move from $10 all the way up to $12. I took 2 trades on it. Very first trade out of the gates, I actually took a short on it, shorting right here at 11:20. 11:22, which is very rare for me. But you can see, I'll scroll this up. Short at 11:21. Smaller size. I'm not as comfortable with the short size. It's a little higher price stock. Shorted at 11:21. It dropped to 10.90. I try to cover. I don't get filled, and then I stopped out as it curled back up. So I made 250 bucks. It then, as you can see, it was doing nice pullback. A little pullback there and move higher. A little pullback there and move higher. Sharper pullback here, but it ended up moving higher. So, pretty good strength. And so I ended up getting in right here to the long side at 11.75, scalping up to the move to 12, selling half at 11.99, and then stopping out the rest as it came back down. So you can see I'm long at 10.77, selling half at 11.99, and sold the rest as it came back down at 64. So, again, these aren't home runs. These were very small trades, only up 360 bucks on that stock. And then came BSPM. BSPM, the one that ruined my day. So BSPM, when it first started popping up, I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't think I like it that much because look at how horrible it was yesterday. It just tanked. It dropped really hard, received delisting notification. So it drops really hard, but then today it starts popping up. All right, so I'm like, honestly, I'm not that interested in it unless it breaks over 250, the half dollar. That's the 200 moving average. So unless it breaks over 250, I don't care about it. All right, so it pops up to $2. It gets halted. It resumes higher, squeezes up to 250 and 269. So I jump in it at 269. Where was this? So I jump in it at 269 right here. I get partial fills on all 4 orders, and I've got like 3,500 shares. It resumes and it pops up to a high of 3. I added at 290. I sold half of my position or whatever this was at 299. Sorry, I can't see this very well. Let me move this up. So I sell half my position at 299. I then added back at 320 and 324. I sold at 329, and right here I was up $2,000 on the stock, and I was feeling good. And the thing was taking off. It was squeezing higher. I then decided to add for the break over 350 because I thought it looked like it was going to get halted a third time in a row. So I add right here 7,500 shares at 330, 343, 342, and then look what happens. I added so high, and then in one candle, in 1 minute, it went from a high of 343 to a low of 263. And at that point, I was pretty much a deer in the headlights. I was just like, no type of thing. And it's like the problem is one of the worst things is when you have a profit, you're up, being up $2,000, and then seeing it all of a sudden reverse, and now you're down like $5,000. It's just the worst. There's nothing worse than it. Going from being green on the day to going to red on the day, for me, it's a trigger. It's absolutely a trigger because it just brings out the emotion. You had it, and then it disappeared. It's gone. So the green to red move, it is the worst move to have as a trader. And so at this point, it gets halted going down. It opens lower, and I end up stopping out for a $7,000 loss. Lost 7,000 bucks. So I went from being up 2,000 on it to down 5,000. And I was down 4,000 on the day, 4,300 or something. So it's going sideways, going sideways. I decided to get back in here as it was moving back up. It hits a high of 295. It pulls back. I hold through the pullback. It then pops up to a high of 320. I hold through the move, thinking that I'm looking for a retest of high a day on this kind of U shape. And then in this candle, it drops all the way down to 274, a 50-cent drop. It's then consolidating sideways, 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 and I'm holding until finally I stop out right here. So I lost another 1,500 bucks on that pullback. And, it's disappointing. It's, to go from being green on the day to red is very frustrating. It's a trigger for me. And so I ended up, following the rules. Max loss is 5,000. If I'm down more than 5K, I'm done for the day. So it's a setback, no doubt about it. Between the last 2 days, I'm down like $8,000, and that's a bummer, but it's not, again, really outside my standard deviation for pullbacks as I'm growing an account. For me, the largest pullback I've had is closer to $25,000 or $27,000. I'll just show you my reports where I track that information. So let's see. I'm trying to remember. I think it's under detailed. Win-loss expectation, and this is my cumulative P&L, and this is the max drawdown. So right here, you see this is growing all the way up to over $1 million of profit since I started using this software, which was in 2016. So my max drawdown is $22,000. So that means over, from all-time highs, the most I dropped was 22,000, and that was on the last drop, which was, I think, right in here. That was the last one. I went from, a high of 872,000 in profit down to 850,000. So that was a $22,000 drawdown from the high. So today, my drawdown, my cumulative drawdown in the last 2 days is about 8,000. So that's going to be a dip almost undetectable on this equity curve. And I'll bounce back from it, no doubt about it. It's just, I got to make sure I don't have another red day tomorrow. Another $5,000 day would put me down 13,000. A fourth red day could put me down 15,000. A fifth red day, that's where it would start to really compound. But in the context of where I'm at right now, I'm not too concerned about that happening. The thing that gets me is when in one trade I lose like $10,000. I just have a blowout loss, and I'm not already green on the day. That's when it hurts a lot. But fortunately, I didn't have that didn't happen or didn't happen today, and hopefully won't happen. All right. So, anyways, this just kind of helps put it in perspective for me. Which always helps. Anytime you have a red day, it's like, okay, let's put this in perspective. Is this an account buster? Is this just a normal standard deviation? These days, I'm not going to say that going from dropping down 22,000, which is what this is right here, $22,000 drop. I'm not going to say that's not painful, because that was painful. I was really frustrated with myself. I was, disappointed. But then I have to say, listen, Russ, no one's going to be playing the violins for you because you're having this kind of little pullback. Give me a break. This is where you've come from. This is what you've done in just in the last 2 years. Give yourself a break. Yes, you're red. Yes, you got to adjust. The market's a little choppy. It's a little slow. But this is part of trading. You've got to get used to it. So, today, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm disappointed that I got aggressive on BSPM. However, had that gone into another halt above 350 and squeezed up to 4, which in a strong market certainly could have, well, I might have been up $10,000 on that stock. And remember, I had a $10,000 day, nearly $10,000 day on Tuesday. So, this has been a really nice hot streak right here. It's been about almost $100,000 on this leg. It's been a good leg. And here I'm going to have my first little setback, which will be down about 8,000. Hopefully I can turn it around I don't really expect to turn around on Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. But hopefully I can turn it around early next week and, finish July in good shape, I guess above 40,000, somewhere between 40 and 50, and go into August feeling good. That's the game plan. All right. So any of you guys that had a red day today or ever have a red day, the first step is put it in context. We all have red days. Being a successful trader is not about never having red days. That's not what it's about. It's about having average winners that exceed average losers and or having a percentage of success that's where you win more than you lose. I win about 70% of the time. Even, yes, I have red days just like anyone else. That means I lose 30% of the time. So 3 out of every 10 trades will be losers. I got a couple of them today. But overall, my accuracy is pretty good, and this is over the course of years of trading. However, for me, my profit-loss ratio is about 1-to-1. My average winners are about equal to my average losers, and that's the biggest downside to the strategy that I have, which is taking profit quickly. There's other traders out there that they wouldn't take profits when they're up 15 or 20 cents, they'll hold it and look for that bigger winner. But what's going to happen is that a number of those times the stock will come back down to break even and it'll end up being a loser, so their accuracy will be lower. Just like BSPM, I could have sold this trade where I got in at 85. I could have sold it as it popped up to 320. I was up 25, 30 cents. I could have sold it and taken profit, and I didn't. I held for the bigger move. As a result, my accuracy is going to decrease a little bit because of that choice. There's a lot of traders who trade like that in general. They don't take profit when they're up 20 cents because they're looking for 50 cents or 75 cents per share. So they're going to have higher profit loss ratios and lower percentages of success. So, you sort of have to decide what type of trader do you want to be. I'm the type of trader that I need the confidence boost from being right 70% of the time. It makes me feel better, it makes me feel more comfortable being aggressive, taking bigger sides, and so I'll sacrifice the profit loss ratio in exchange for that accuracy. And that's kind of the thing we all do. This BSPM, if it goes to high a day, I will literally cry because I'm going to be the guy that lost money on it despite it being up 100%. But that's okay. That's the way it goes. Tomorrow is another day. I'll have another chance for a winner. There's always another train around the corner, another trade coming up. So I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow. Hopefully we can finish up the week in good shape. Just want to break the red streak and finish in the green, but I'm not expecting tomorrow's going to be a big day. I think we're still in a choppy market, so need to manage risk, trade smart, and try to keep those losses small if possible. If it ends up being another 3 or 4 days of choppiness, then that's what it is. That's fine, but I need to keep the share size small so I don't risk doing something stupid. All right, so that's it for me today. Those of you that want to register for the seminar or the online training workshop that we're going to have on Monday, if you check out Facebook or YouTube, you'll see the links that are posted there. I don't have the link right now to drop in the chat room. I just don't have it on my computer. So, but I'll remind you guys again on Friday and of course on Monday. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, see you guys in the morning. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Well, I was just working on the dream board for my next home run trade. Hopefully it comes soon. Until then, make sure you subscribe to get email alerts anytime I go live or upload new videos. Until then, happy surfing